Hello and welcome to our daily sketching routine. It is Wednesday, October 29th, 2025, and today's topic is a continuation of a deep dive into drawing from imagination and specifically, for me anyway, like world building, these fantasy buildings, medieval inspired. But today we'll do interiors. I thought that would be a good next step. But before we begin, welcome back if you're returning and welcome if you're new to the channel. I sketch and post every day and I use a timer to stay focused and to build a habit. I'll start a 10-minute timer. I didn't work on this at all since yesterday and I needed to take a break from it and get some rest. That's an important thing, by the way. But yeah, let's sketch for 10 minutes. So I'm going to get warmed up, but then also just go off of what I have here. So for example, let's do like an interior. Maybe I will switch over to like a blue pen just so we can see. So I'm going to extend this building. So I'm going to do this. And if you're wondering about perspective, because that's kind of the point. I mean, if you're drawing buildings and interiors. But this is like a floor plan. So you could go like this, and for the most part, it'll be kind of, I'm just going off of what I already drew. So if you just kind of kept it going, it'll eventually, you can kind of keep it parallel, but it might eventually converge at the, or it's supposed to converge at the horizon line. But it's at this kind of shot, you can keep it sort of parallel because of the drawing that's already there. So there's like a floor plan. So that's one thing about like interiors. It's good to have kind of an idea. So just as an example, you could say that a door, because I have this person right here, this character, or yeah, person. So I'm going to do like a door just to kind of get like the scale. And then you might decide that there's a table. So I'm just going to do this. And this is meant for maybe like another, just to get an idea and to warm up. So there could be a table right here. So that's one way to kind of get an idea of the interior. Let's work on this, kind of keep this progression going. Over here, I'm not looking up reference and I really don't have like a clear idea. Let's just kind of like progress. For example, what if the door opens? So here's just a doorway because this character is sort of like walking up to the door. And then what if they come in and they're like right here? And there could just be a door. And yeah, I don't know anything about it other than sort of what we've been sketching and doodling with and stuff. So just kind of do that, and maybe there's like a few steps. So it's not a bad comic panel if you're going to do that, but that kind of gives an idea. And then maybe the next thing could be like an overhead shot. So like I said in some of these other videos, I like to do these sort of schematic looking things. So like that's kind of a schematic. And then an overhead shot could be, let's say this is the character. That's them walking in. And then that's just the building. So we're inside, and then the light could be coming from, I mean, the light, there could be some light in here because there could be windows and whatnot. And then there could be a carpet. Again, I'm just like making stuff up here. So the carpet, and then, I mean, that's like one thing. So that's kind of a top-down view. And then I'll just kind of keep it going down here. So after I do that, like maybe like a side view. And this is because I'm not using reference. actually just creating like the setting. So a side view could be, let's just draw a panel. So here's the floor. So you've got the walls, and then the character is walking right here. Yeah, we don't know what the character looks like, but they're walking. So something like this, and then there could be, let's just throw in like a furniture or some kind of table. There could be a window. So part of this is the perspective. I just kind of wanted to show. Part of it is just getting used to it. It could be a character, like maybe part of it is like the sequence and the character design. So here they come inside the building and then they're walking. And then, I mean, we could always draw this better, but I think it's good to kind of get these thumbnails, and then there's like a side view, and then maybe, again, this is about I wanted to show a little bit of the interior perspective, so let's just kind of exaggerate that. So let's just put a table. So this will be the table, and then that establishes a vanishing point right here at the horizon. And then we'll just do like another room, or like that's like that floor, that carpet thing. Do this, and then if you do this, you can create another door. So it becomes a hallway. Again, just making stuff up here. You can just put down some guidelines and see what happens. Like this. So you start to have like a room. So maybe, yeah, maybe there's just like a door. Again, since we're not sure. And then to place the character in there. So that could be like, I'm kind of seeing a hallway right here. So that'll be a doorway. That could lead into the building, and then that's a hallway, and then the character, we'll just put them back into the scene. Again, it's just a way of put some stuff on the walls here. Thumbnails. That's one way of kind of extending this. Again, just playing around with it, just to get an idea of what's inside the building. I mean, you could have stairs that kind of go like this. This isn't really for the final picture. This is just to get ideas. So, have some stairs. And this is also, instead of running off to find reference. Now, after I do this kind of thing, I might look up reference. I mean, I might decide. I mean, this actually has a lot of information, like already. And then I talked about, in yesterday's video, talked about like how to make a bigger version of it. And I think that that's what I'll do, like for this page. Alright, I'm back. I actually signed off previously after doing this thing, but I wanted to work on it some more, so I'll kind of put this at the end of the video. So I'm using a pencil, so that's like another way to approach it when doing something like this, and you're working from like sketches. So I went ahead, and this isn't really about like comics, although I might move into like a deep dive into doing this page. So this will be kind of like a mini comic. It could be a one-page comic kind of thing. So we have this shot, which is, it establishes the setting, and then we zoom in, and then I felt like we needed some kind of, like the door is opening, and then kind of seeing inside. So I didn't sketch that previously. I just did this after getting some ideas. And then here, so this was from like this idea. We flipped the camera around. That's why I did this, to kind of transition, because if we just flipped it, we might not know that we're following this character. That's what I think anyway. And I mean, it's an art form, like sequential art, but that's what I'm going to go with, and that's why it's a test comic. But it's a good thing to play around with. And then from here, I'll just go with that one, that sequence. So if you're wondering, it's just like 1-point perspective. So if you want to show sort of the walls, and then the character could be here. And I mean, could just do the shadow like this. We don't really know like the exact lighting. Obviously, maybe there's some light coming from up there. It can imply some of this table. And same thing with it's 1 point, so meaning it's just coming from like this, like everything, for convenience. They could be pictures or a window. Yeah, I mean, if there's windows, there could be light. And then here's like the side view. And so what I did was, to lay out this comic page, I just kind of drew like the whole thing, because the page is a composition too. So I'm going to do kind of a big panel right here to sort of balance out. And this is because I'm just making up the sequence. I don't have like a story in mind. And then I'll just put a panel right here. So it's about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I mean, I think that's fine. I don't really have any text either. So yeah, that's like the basic layout. And so, for example, here, I kind of want to, I like that. I mean, I think it's fine. I'll just lay it out real quick, because I'm just looking off of this. Looks like there's a wall, and then the character's right here. Again, I'm changing it's a thumbnail. I'm not trying to make it too much like that. I didn't feel the need to. So the vanishing points is going here. It's just simple kind of 1 point. So kind of like this. Put another doorway. Then you could turn this way. I mean, I would look up something and keep a collection of reference, so you can have it and then also just get ideas. So I mean, this is like one way of doing that, and this was inspired by that thumbnail. But then I like the side view, so maybe I'll do that, but then we'll zoom in on the character since I don't really know what they look like and we kind of want to know. So we'll just do like a profile, simple profile. But doing a page like this helps for, I mean, I might put this in the comics actually, because there's a lot of comic stuff going on here, but doing these little like test comics, they help because then it kind of tells you like what you need to study. I mean, I'm always kind of sketching random sort of medieval style stuff anyway. So I'm just gonna do this, and also like, yeah, like using a pencil is kind of fun. I mean, sometimes I like to challenge myself and use a pen, but if I really wanted to just draw the thing, I would just use a pencil. But mainly it's whatever's fun. So again, I don't have an idea for a character. I'm thinking this is some kind of guild hall. So that'll be it for today. That might be like a 15-minute video, but yeah, I just wanted to, that was kind of like a warm-up, like doing thumbnails, but I mean, it's just like different ways of approaching it, and then also specifically for like a sequence. That'll be it for today. I want to thank you for joining me for our daily sketching routine, and if you enjoy these videos, please support the channel. I appreciate it, and until next time, keep on sketching.